Hi, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us today. I'm Ross. You probably know me from sending you all the emails about the webinar and the rally. And I'm here to just help out on the technical side today. So I wanted to just let you know we will have some time for Q&A at the end. So as we're going through all this good stuff about the rally, if you have any questions or anything like that, just go ahead and type it into the chat box and we'll try to get through them all at the end. And if for any reason we don't, then we'll go ahead and follow up afterwards. So with that, I want to hand it over to our YMCA Experienced Manager, Doug Courier.
Thanks, Ross, and thank you, everybody, for taking some time out of your day to learn more about Expresso's Rally for the Y. This is a great opportunity to use your Expresso communities at your Ys to raise some really significant dollars for your annual campaign this year. So joining me on the call, and we'll hear from later, is Peter Weisgerber from the Metrowest YMCA, Josh Bender from the Glow YMCA in New York, and Courtney Sewerson from the Metro Atlanta YMCA. So we'll hear some great stories and some great tips and tactics from them in just a little bit. But before we do, I'll just want to introduce myself. I know Ross had initially introduced me. My name is Doug Courier. I'm the YMCA Experience Manager with Expresso. I joined Expresso about a little over a year ago. And prior to that, I spent 14 years with the YMCA. Part of why I was scooped up by the Expresso was to help connect Expresso back to the mission that is the Y through programs and challenges that make sense in the Y setting. There's no greater example than the rally for the Y. Fundraising is a big part of what the Ys are doing, and I work heavily on the rally to help communicate that to our Expresso communities and help you guys raise dollars for your Ys and your local communities. So how does it all work? I understand we probably have some veterans on the call, but we also have some rookies. So the Rally for the Y is our kind of approach to partnering with Ys for the annual campaigns. Every year we solicit our communities to ride on behalf of the rally. Last year we engaged 307 partner Ys, 7,600 members, and collectively raised $172,000. That's a lot of kids going to camp. That's a lot of people participating in Livestrong. That's a lot of single moms bringing their kids to the Ys. It's a lot of impact, and we're proud, and we're ecstatic that we're able to have a place in that. So the nuts and bolts of it all, how it works is the rally is really meant to be more than just a fundraiser. Go back to that last slide, Ross.
Yeah, you got
it. So the rally is meant to be more than just an event. It's really a way to get your members to work together towards a common goal. It's a great way and a great platform for you to tell your story. There's a lot of misunderstanding about the Y just being gym and swim. So this is a great platform for your members and your staff to tell the story about where those dollars go, that you are doing Livestrong, you're sending kids to camp, your membership for all programs. So it's a really great platform to communicate that message. We find it makes it easier for staff members to engage their members. Instead of asking them for dollars, they're asking them to ride, so it makes for a softer ask. And it also can contribute to bolstering your Expresso communities. Expresso is meant to be sort of an affinity group that lives on your floor, and the rally is a way to get that out and build that community. And lastly, it's a great opportunity to engage your youth in the annual campaign and use it as a teachable moment. And we'll hear a little bit more about some updates for that in just a second. So how it works, throughout the month of February, Expresso will donate 10 cents a mile for every rider that is signed in, that creates an account and rides with Expresso. Members will sign up at expresso.com. And again, every mile will count. In addition to just the 10 cents a mile, it's really so much more than that. We encourage staff and members to customize their pledge pages and share it with their networks. Of that $172,000 that we raised last year, only $35,000 of that was raised with the mileage. The other funds were raised by people sharing their rally pages with their networks and leveraging that extra dollars. As far as the prizes, everything is tracked online from the mileage. We have prizes that we award to different different riders and different opportunities to leverage more dollars. So anybody who raises $100 for their YMCA will be entered into a chance to win $1,000 raffle. So it doesn't matter if you're the top riding Y or the last place Y. So long as you as an individual have raised $100, your name goes into the hat to possibly get an extra $1,000 for your Y. New this year, and again to encourage our youth riders, we've also created a secondary prize for any youth under the age of 20 who's raised $100 for their Ys. We'll do a similar drawing where they'll enter in for a chance to win an extra $500 for their annual campaign. And lastly, the top riding team will get an extra $1,000 for their Y. There's a lot to go into, and we have a whole list of videos to walk through. You can find our training video here. It's really comprehensive. It's a quick 10-minute, 11-minute overview of how to get members signed up, how to customize your and share your pages. So I encourage you all on the call to check into this. Or if you're looking to do a deeper dive with your staff teams, reach out to myself or Ross, and we'd be happy to do some one-on-one trainings with you and your staff. So that's the rally. That's it in a nutshell. That's the impact that you can have. I'm going to make way. You guys join this call not to hear me talk, but to get some tips and tactics from some of the best rally Ys that we have in our community. So to kick things off, I'm going to introduce Peter Weisgerber from the Metrowest YMCA. Peter, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Doug.
All right. Well, as you guys can see here, Peter is the Chief Development Officer with the Metrowest YMCA. Last year, they engaged 83 riders and raised $14,000. They were the number 2 Y in the country. Peter, so last year, you guys took a really big jump. In 2017, the year before last, you guys raised about $2,000 with the rally. And last year, as we see here, you guys raised over $14,000. Tell us a little bit about how you engaged your board members and how they helped you achieve that tremendous leap.
Thanks so much. Yeah, Doug, I'd be happy to. But first, I want to thank Espresso for the opportunity for creating the rally for the Y. It's something that we've become incredibly excited about and look forward to each year. Because what started for us as a way to just raise maybe some additional funds for the annual campaign truly became, and you mentioned this a little bit, but it truly became a membership retention tool for us, a morale booster, a relationship development engagement tool, a source of pride for our staff, for our board. It really helped us build a sense of community within our wellness center at the Y. And we were able to make that jump, although we do have our sights set on number 1 for this year. But we were able to make that jump, I think, by engaging our board and staff and volunteers. And when you look at your board of directors and engaging your board, I think the most important step in doing that is to choose a champion, is to recruit a champion from the board who can be telling the story, talking about the impact of the rally and the dollars that we're raising. We were fortunate to have our board chair become our champion. And she was not a cyclist, not a rider, but she certainly became one for the month of February. And at every board meeting, she was talking up the rally. She was challenging other board members. She started looking at the tally board and figuring out where we were and why were we only 8th in the country, why were we only 7th, why were we only 6th, and really pushing that, which became fun throughout the rest of the month of February. We're also really fortunate to have a staff champion. So we had Amy Miller, who is our Director of Annual Giving. And Amy really focused on building that community. We had 80 participants in the rally last year, and those 80 folks really got to know each other. They started to learn each other's name. They started talking to each other. They had something in common. And each day when they came in, they would look at the rally board. We created these large rally boards that you couldn't miss as you came into our Y. And one of those focused on the top fundraisers for our team. One was top miles for our team, and the other was the top 10 Ys in the country. So we really kept folks looking at that and focused on that as we were looking to build a sense of community with the people in our building, but really get them excited and share what we were doing with those dollars.
So Peter, going back to your volunteers, I spent a lot of times with the Ys, and I find that volunteers do better when there's something tangible that they can participate in. Did you guys have that experience with the rally, and was this a way to motivate your volunteers for a deeper connection to your Y?
Yeah, that's a great point, Doug. And what we find is that whether it's our board members or other volunteers, they're always looking for a way to connect, to engage, to get involved, and to help make a difference. And the rally did become that tangible way to get involved. What I was telling our staff about was it not only helped our volunteers connect to our story by riding and participating, but they actually became part of that story. And one of my favorite examples was one of our new board members, who's the CEO of the local medical center, had joined the Y board, was kind of looking for his place, trying to figure out how he was really connected. And it turns out that our top fundraiser was a gentleman who had gone through our cardiopulmonary wellness program that was a partnership with the hospital. So here was someone who came off a heart surgery. He was getting back in shape. He was getting back involved. And he reached out to his family and his friends to start fundraising. He became our top fundraiser. And the CEO of the hospital was so proud of that fact, and we were able to celebrate. And you can see with the photo here, David's on the right side of the check, that we were able to recognize both David, our top fundraiser, and Danny, our top rider, who rode over 1,000 miles in front of 400 people at our annual campaign kickoff. So we constantly were looking for ways, how do we raise awareness of the great things that were happening through the rally. And we had this handsome guy on the right there who was able to share the total amount that we raised.
Appreciate that. Well, it sounds like engaging your board is a huge opportunity for some of those Ys that want to go from, a couple $100 or a couple $1,000 to that next step like you guys did. So thank you, Peter, for your time and your input. I definitely encourage everybody to engage their boards. So thank you.
Yeah, and if any folks want to reach out to me, I'm happy to talk to them. The last thing I would say is make the rally important and make it a priority, and the staff time that you put in will be absolutely well spent.
Absolutely. All right. Next up, we have Josh Bender. Josh is from the Glow Y. They are a constant with the rally and have performed well. But one thing they did last year kind of opened Pandora's box as far as engaging the rally and utilizing the rally as a tool. So, Josh, first and foremost, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
No problem. So, Josh, last year was the first year any team had ever secured a matching sponsor for the rally. It was your Y and the Berwick Y in Pennsylvania were the only two to take advantage of this sort of approach to maximizing the rally. So, tell us a little bit about how that came to be and how it helped you guys raise as much as you did and create as much engagement as you guys created.
Yeah, for sure. So we originally, at the beginning of the rally last year, we had sat down and kind of had like an executive meeting and decided, we wanted to try to pursue a matching sponsor. And the first place we looked at is some of our local businesses near our Y and in our county and community. And we turned to one of our local credit unions. Myself and our executive director actually knew the CEO of the credit union from a leadership program. So we decided to draft a letter and just basically explain to her what the rally for the Y was, explained our mission, our cause, and kind of what we were trying to achieve through this great event. We were able to schedule a meeting with her and had face-to-face time with her, explained it all, and she just, after hearing what we had to say about the rally and the amount of participation we get and how much buzz it creates in the month of February where, up here in Western New York, it gets pretty cold, she just thought it was a great idea. Her credit union loves to support community-based events that give back to the community. So she loved the idea, thought it was a great thing, and so was really on board with it. And, like I said, we had planned to do that in the beginning of the month. We actually didn't secure the donation until the last week of the rally, but it actually was a positive thing for us because it gave us an extra energy boost and more motivation for our members and staff, because when we came back to our Y and announced that this credit union was our lead matching sponsor and was going to sponsor 10 cents a mile, it just created this positive energy of people who were so excited that we had local community support, that it just made them want to ride even more and for longer periods of time. So that whole last week, the energy in our wellness center and the energy around the bikes, people just, wanted to ride more because they knew, instead of just getting the 10 cents a mile from Expresso, we had now doubled that with the credit union coming through with another 10 cents a mile. So it really motivated us as a group and as an organization to, really finish the rally out strong.
And it's a great sort of tactic. And just to clarify for everybody on the call, we were able to go back and credit those miles. So even though the pledge came in, towards the end of the rally, we were able to go back and match those. So regardless of when you can secure a matching sponsor, we have the platform to be able to help anybody on this call or anybody looking to secure a matching sponsor solidify that. And there's definitely some tools that we've added this year that Ross will talk a little bit about later on. So Josh, what's the plan this year? What did you learn from last year's experience securing that matching sponsor? And before you answer that, Josh was able to leverage an extra $800 because of that one matching sponsor. And the Berwick YMCA actually leveraged an extra $2,300. So that $800 is a lot of money. It goes, that's a lot of kids going to camp. That's a lot of swim lessons. That's a lot of Livestrong participants. So Josh, tell me what's the approach this year for you in trying to maximize this sort of platform and securing matching sponsors?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said it best right there. Our plan going into this rally, I mean, we've already communicated and reached out to the credit union to secure another year of a matching sponsor. But I think the biggest thing is you can't be afraid to ask. You just have to sit down and just explain why we're here. I mean, that $800 that we leveraged from the matching sponsor, that's countless number of kids being able to learn how to swim through a swimming lesson, being able to bring a family into the Y to change their lives for the better. So that's the message that we're really trying to put out in the community. So this year, again, we've drafted some organizations that, we're going to email, give a quick call to, just get connected and gain some face time. And I think it's important too, if you're a Y who's participated in the rally, you can kind of look at your Y's average amount of miles. And I know it's important for businesses and organizations who are giving to the Y to know exactly how much the donation is going to be at the end of the rally. So if you've done the rally before, I would have an estimate of how many miles you usually ride and just be upfront with the donor on that. And if you haven't, I still don't think it's a bad thing to ask. Just look at your local community, look at organizations that support community togetherness, and just, pick up the phone, give them a call, and great things can happen from that.
All right. Well, thank you for kind of blazing the trail last year. Again, I think of the 307 Ys that participated last year, only 2 took advantage of that platform. So that's definitely something we want to try to push with the rally this year. So thank you, Josh, again for your words of wisdom and your advocacy.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Next up, Courtney Severson from the Metro Atlanta YMCA. Metro Atlanta has been a staple for us in the rallies. And Courtney, I appreciate you being on the call today and giving us your words of wisdom. So,
thank you for having me. We have a number of Ys that have participated in the rally in the past, and my primary involvement has been through the Carl Sanders Y, as it says there. Really looking at how this can help us identify new prospective donors and campaigners. And that's been a really critical success for us in our campaign. So I first, I'll just say this is a really unique opportunity. I don't know of anything else where you can have a month of just really natural opportunities to talk about the Y cause, the impact of supporting the Y, while people are already doing what they're doing. They're going to be riding no matter what. And so it's an awesome way to engage a very strong affinity group. Espresso has a huge following at our Y, and so they're definitely already there, trying to find ways to get involved. We've used this as a model with other affinity groups. So cycle, yoga, turbo, I would just say this impact doesn't actually stop with the rally. We have taken this, using it as a point to start early in the campaign, taking it out to all of our different affinity groups, and our wellness team exceeds their goal every year, and they do it quickly because they have really taken this on. I think Doug mentioned the really great way to engage your staff. So easy campaign entry point for staff who are not as familiar or not as comfortable fundraising yet. So it starts conversations really easily. It promotes meaningful relationship building, which is, of course, our purpose in everything that we're doing. And it's just an awesome opportunity for a great first ask, which then paves the way for all of the subsequent asks that they're going to be making. And then, it engages a great corporate partner. So I thank you to Espresso for what they're doing. It's an awesome model to be able to take out to other organizations that we're working with as well. And when we look at our trends, because we've been doing this for a number of years now, what stands out to me is a handful of donors. Most of the folks that give and engage through Rally for the Y were first-time donors at the point that they engaged through Rally, which I think is great. And we have moved many of those through just being a member that's coming in, using our facility to, obviously taking them through the continuum to become donors. Many of them are now campaigners and are giving multiple times through the year and have come up to be a major donor. So the number you see on that screen does not reflect the total of their giving because, like I said, it doesn't stop with at the end of February. That's just what they're doing through Rally for the Y, but they are continuing on through the rest of the year to raise funds for us, to share the message and to be storytellers and to continue giving multiple gifts. And it's been really impactful for us.
So Courtney, one great example of how the rally can have an impact or broaden your donor base is Lad Jones. So Lad's the ultimate espresso rider, but tell me how the rally really helped Lad become more involved with the annual campaign through this event.
Yeah, I think that he's the poster child. So first of all, he has started in February. He plans his year around February. So in February, he rides 3 times a day. So he comes in morning, afternoon, and evening so that he can really get his miles in. Every year, he challenges himself against his personal best. He has become not just a donor and a very engaged member. He's volunteering for our programs now. He's a campaigner. He's gone through the campaigner trainings. He's a major donor outside of the rally as well. So this year his goal was to sponsor a kid through the after school enrichment program, which was $1,200 for the year. So he stroked his own check and then he said, okay, I'm going to go raise money so I can do more of that. So I really do think that he's the poster child, and several others have followed in his footsteps, but he's definitely the one to highlight.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think you had mentioned that the rally was just kind of his niche and his way of giving back, which is, again, the opportunity that we have here. I know back when we first started, we got a little pushback as far as, this being, sort of why ask someone to ride when you can ask them for a larger contribution. And I think the stories you tell about Lad are kind of quite the opposite. He went from being a casual donor to an engaged member. So,
absolutely.
And Lad's just one of many examples, not only at your Y, but others. This has really become their platform and their way of giving back. So, it's just a great platform to use bikes that are already on your floors to help raise dollars for the annual campaign. Courtney, lastly, you guys have been with us since the start of the rally. There's a lot of new Ys on this call, or Ys that are looking to take it to the next level. I know you mentioned some tips, but if you had to give one tip to people on the call as far as taking it to the next level or coming out of the gate in their first rally and really having an impact, what would you say to them?
Yeah, I think really just having having your staff prep to have the conversations with riders so that they're constantly kind of watching to see who's riding, going and initiating the conversation, letting them know about the rally, getting them signed up, getting them excited and energized, and then continuing to go back to them day after day when they're riding, because that is how you build a relationship and how you create larger donors, right, and engaged members. And so that to us has been really impactful. From a very practical standpoint, I'm going to say we have had the most success in the years. We redesigned our wellness area, so Espresso now sort of has its own section because we allow them to ride the Espresso bikes longer than we allow them to do anything else. But in the years when we had the bikes a little bit more front and center, where you physically have to walk by them, we had more engagement in. So physically moving your body with bikes. I mean, it's something that's just really simple, but people say, what's going on over there? And prepping the riders themselves. So Lad is a great champion. I think Peter said, make sure you have a champion. Lad will ride the bike and talk to anybody who walks by about why he's riding the bike. And so it's really a great opportunity for them to share their stories with others.
All right. Well, I'm sure there's others gunning for you guys again this year. So best of luck with your rally, Courtney, and thank you again for joining us today. So thank you to all of our speakers. I think what we're going to do now with time in mind, we're going to turn it over to any questions that might come up throughout the rally. So I'm going to turn it back over to Ross for that.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Yeah, if you do have a question, feel free to type it into the chat box or the question box at this time. We did get a couple that came through while our panelists were talking. So let me go ahead and get to those first, and then go from there. Jay Catron asked, I think this is for you, Josh. How did you recognize the matching sponsor that you got? T-shirts, logo on brochures, the rally wall. What did you do to recognize them as a sponsor?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we wanted to make sure that's really important when you're securing a matching sponsor. You want to make sure that they're being recognized properly for committing their time and donation to you in the event. So we basically, once we secured the donation, we actually sent an article into our daily newspaper and published an article saying that they were our matching lead sponsor. We also put their logo on the flyers that we put around our espresso area up at our front desk. And then same with our rally board. We put a logo on there and basically made sure that our members saw that our credit union was being recognized. And then I'm the one who kind of sends email blasts every couple days to the organization and the members who are riding. So we made sure we recognize the credit union in those emails. But I would say just putting their logo and brand on flyers and literature that members are seeing is the biggest way we recognize them.
Great. And just a couple points on that. When you do secure a matching sponsor, the members who are signed up also will get an email letting them know that they got this new sponsor. It works the same way as a regular sponsor. So if a member gets a friend to support them individually, then they'll also get that notification. That comes through as well. And in this case, I think it had the credit union. So every member, all 60 plus members that you had that were riding in the rally got a notification, an individual notification that had happened.
Yes, that's correct.
And one other question was, does the matching sponsorship have to be for 10 cents per mile? And I'll just touch on that. No, it does not. The sponsorship can be for any amount, from 1 cent up to as high as you want to go. And what it will do, though, is it will apply across all of the riders on your team. So anyone that's already signed up, it will apply backwards to them, and then anyone who then signs up after the new sponsorship, it'll apply to them as well. Okay, so Terry Borkland asked, can you explain the process riders can use to solicit donations from friends and family? I I guess let's go across the board on that, if you don't mind. Peter, Josh, and Courtney, how did you encourage your riders to solicit donations?
Yeah, I think the once you register, the site is so user friendly that it really became kind of fun. Not only can all of the folks that are participating see what everybody else in the country is doing, but you can actually click on the Y and see how the individual riders are doing. But it's so easy to send that link to friends and family. So we encourage folks to use email, to use social media, to really spread the word to everyone that they were talking to about why they were riding and what that meant and where the funds were going.
Yeah, I would agree with exactly what Peter said. The way you can send the link to your friends and family, I mean, it doesn't have to just be through email. There's several social media platforms out there that you can get the message to your loved ones, your friends. And then we also we try to help our members as much as possible. So some members who may not be, technology savvy, we have a computer at the desk that, we can show them how to share links with people and get the message out that way.
And Courtney?
Yeah, I just agree with what both of them have said. Definitely using technology to get the message out. That's been really helpful. They've been able to email it out, share it on social media. One other kind of fun aspect of the rally for our Espresso community, and again, that is a pretty strong, like tight-knit community at RY. They've been sponsoring each other. So even though they're raising their own funds and they're giving their own gifts, they're also sponsoring each other just to keep encouraging them in their efforts.
Great. And there's I'll add one item on this. There's a new resource in the rally promo kit this year. A couple of the YMCA's actually created 3x5 inch postcard size pieces that are designed to help their members ask their friends and family for support. And what it does is it's not it's not highly technology driven. You don't have to send a link. This is for people who want to go and make that face-to-face ask. And then this postcard provides directions for whoever they've spoken to as to how to go to the rally site and then complete that donation from there. So there's one more resource that we saw work last year from some of the other Ys that we've been able to parlay into this year.
Ross, one thing I just wanted to add on that, when sharing your message on everybody's rally page, they have the platform to tell a story. So whether it's, we have a stock response in there, it says thank you for supporting my ride, but we find that our riders get a more support when they customize their message and put a goal in there saying, hey, my name's Doug, I want to ride 200 miles to support Live Strong at my Y. When they customize and share their message, it has a deeper impact, and it really tells the story of why they're doing what they're doing rather than just sharing the page. So I highly encourage you to encourage your members to customize and share their, not only share their pages, but to customize it as well.
Right. Yeah, and then one other question here from Terry was, do friends and family pay online from the link? The answer to that is no, they pledge through the rally website, but we do not collect any of the funds. All of the teams that are participating in the rally provide their own online donation link. And so what happens is the information for the pledge happens on the rally website, and then any of the friends and family who do pledge are then directed to your YMCA's donation site to complete their donation with your Y directly. So we don't collect any of the money ourselves or anything like that. It's all directly through your YMCA. Okay, guys, we're a little bit over, so I think there are a handful more questions here, but I'm going to, we'll have to take those offline with the rest of you guys who have them. And yeah, I want to thank everyone who attended and thank all of our panelists as well for joining us today. We're very excited. On behalf of the team here at Espresso, I know I am very excited to be able to support your community this coming February. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks to everyone here.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye guys. Have a good one.